Good afternoon, all. We are here for another word of the day, and the word I picked today is brokenness. You know, we live in a world where we see a lot of brokenness. We see a lot of anger. We see a lot of angst. We see a lot of dismay, despair. You know, I was talking to Pastor a couple days ago. There's a lot of different things going on in the military community, at home, my whole old town. We had a mother who took her life because she was depressed with everything going on. You know, we have a lot of brokenness in this country, in the United States, and everywhere around. And I just want to say that God came here to put those pieces back together. God sees the brokenness and says, I can make it whole. Allow me to make it whole. As he said in Revelation, I come to make things new. I come to make things better. And so often we get so caught up with what's going on around here, we get so caught up with what is happening that we forget that the person that we're supposed to look towards has already fixed it. There's already won. And we don't need to see the brokenness anymore. We just need to see Jesus in the light of who he is. There's an illustration I'd love to use for the students and even for adults, and I'm going to use it today. But as we look at the brokenness, sometimes things need to break before they go and make things new, and hence an omelet. You know, in order to make an omelet, you got to break some eggs, mix them together, and cook them, and it becomes a very awesome thing. I've been making omelets a lot lately. I've been home a lot. But as we're going through things, sometimes we need to break things in order to make light of things. And a good example of that are a glow stick. A glow stick, until you actually break it and go and shake it up, and then it glows. I don't know how much this is glowing because it's light out, but you have to literally break the glow stick in order to see what it truly is. You know, sometimes we have to break down and break ourselves because sin is part of our lives. Sin is something that controls us into a certain degree. Our flesh longs for that. The Bible says we are born in sinful nature. And our best day on earth is nothing more than just a filthy rag to God. There is nothing we could do, there's nothing that we are that's going to get us to heaven. It's not until God breaks us and gives us the insight that it's about his son Jesus Christ who died. It's not about what we do. You know, I was talking to the students last week about the rich young ruler who came to Jesus and said, what do I need to do to gain the kingdom of heaven? And Jesus says, abide by the 10 commandments. He goes, I have. He goes, all right, now do me a favor. Go back and sell all your stuff and give your stuff away. And the rich young ruler walks away. Why? Because his money, his possessions, everything was more into his heart than God was. Yes, he was following the 10 commandments. Yes, he was doing stuff. But when it came straight down to it, he was just broken. He was just another person who put things in front of God and put that border up and said, I'd rather have this, I'd rather have my possessions than God. And that's where we are in this world right now. We got so much different technology and we're so self-efficient today that we forget we need to still look at God. We still need him daily, hourly. I don't know about you, but there's times where I forget I'm supposed to pray every day. You know, that's not being a thing on me. That's just because life gets in the way. We're doing so much, getting so involved in everything that we look and go, man, I forgot to pray today. And when I do that, I usually slam on my knees and go, God, I am so sorry I haven't talked to you today. Because without that conversation, it's kind of hard to get through my day. I need that conversation daily. I need to remember that my good deeds will never amount to nothing. It's awesome that I do it. It's awesome that we get to do it and be a part of somebody's life and show awesomeness to people and to walk next to somebody and say, I'm with you and I'm going to encourage you and I'm going to do all that. But that doesn't get me very far. It gets me liked, it gets me praise, but at the end of the day, if I don't have Jesus here in my heart, if I don't have Jesus in my every being, it doesn't matter. I said this to Ron Williams the other day. I was sitting there talking to Ron Williams and my wife, and God's given me a gift where I can take almost anything and turn it into a sermon. It's awesome. It's great. Kind of like the glow stick. But I said this. Could you imagine walking up to the pearly gates where St. Peter's sitting there, and he's standing there and he goes, all right, who's next? And you stand up and he looks at your thing and he starts to chuckle. It's like, oh my gosh, what'd you do? Man, oh my gosh. You know, he's going to sit there and look at our things that we've done in our lives and he's going to laugh. It's so hilarious that we think that we're going to walk up to that gate with our portfolio and hand it in and think that we can walk through there freely. He's going to laugh. And while he's laughing, you're going to have this awesome vision of Christ coming alongside you, putting his arms around you and saying, I got him. He's with me. And he walks you in. You know, it's kind of like that exclusive nightclub that has the velvet red ropes. And you're standing outside going, man, I wish I could get in there. I want to see what's on the other side of that door. And then somebody who is a very exclusive member walks up and puts his arm around and goes, you're with me. That's Jesus in the heaven. You know, when you're standing in front of Peter, even though you're broken, even though your portfolio is wrapped with just crud, and some nice, but mostly crud, you have somebody who puts his arm around you, looks at you, and says, I got him. He's with me. That's what Jesus has done for us when he died on the cross. That's what Jesus has done for us when he did all the phenomenal things walking this earth and making us whole. I love that depiction of just having him wrap his arms around you and saying, I got you. Now my question is, have you made that decision? Have you made that declaration of, I'm going to follow Jesus? And know for 100% sure that he's going to wrap his arms around you and say, I got you. Guys, it's been awesome. I'm looking forward to this weekend with worship. We got the last drive-in service this week. And we have online on 8:30 and 9:30, 8:30 and 11. I'm sorry. And you also have a 9:45 call-in prayer meeting where you can talk to a pastor and give out your prayers and have a prayer time. Guys, I'm praying for you. Hoping that we can get back together soon and worship our God in a mighty way. Enjoy your day.